Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavat Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahabhirjam Karavavahai Tejasvi Navadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So now let's chant the first and the last verses of the Gita Dhyanam. So today I want we will chant together. We will mute all of you. Those who are unmuted, please mute yourself. Gita Dhyanam in front of you. If you don't, if you have not memorized it, we chant together. Yeah, Kuldeep ji, if you could mute yourself, please. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Grathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam Advaitaamritavarshiniim Bhagavatim Ashtadashadhyayiniim Ambatvam Anusandadhami Bhagavad Gite Bhavadveshiniim Yam Brahma Varunendra Rudra Marutaha Stunvanti Divyaistavaihi Vedais Sangapadakramopanisadaihi Gayanti Yam Samagaha Dhyanavasthita Tadgatena Manasa Pashyanti Yan Yoginaha Yasyam Tam Navidussura Suraganaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha Devaya Tasmai Namaha. So am I audible?
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
Good. So last class we realized or we learned that the Vedas must be looked at as a means of knowledge, as a pramanam. So pramanam being an important idea, very critical idea. So how I look at something decides or determines what I get out of it. Okay, this is very true in our life, wherever we go. How I look at that person, how I look at the book, how I look at the situation is what determines what I get out of the situation, person, or thing. So without this idea, if I look at the Vedas, then I will think it is a recipe for certain things, and I must do something. Although it does have some recipes, no doubt. But the key idea is here is pramanam. The Veda is a word mirror, a mirror of words which reveals my nature. This is Vedanta. Karma Kanda doesn't reveal my nature, but Jnana Kanda, which is the second portion, broadly divided, reveals my nature. It's a mirror of words. So that's the way we should look at it. Then we also saw a definition of Astika and Nastika. And then we talked about this knowledge that I gained from Vedanta. Can it be indirect knowledge? It is talking about something called Atma, and which I should, after learning about Atma, I should experience it. I should go somewhere, sit under some tree somewhere in some corner of India, and then something will happen. Then only that knowledge becomes real to me. Is that until then it's all indirect knowledge, like somebody narrating how beautiful a place was. Or is it direct knowledge? Direct knowledge means here and now. Then we saw that just like that person who was searching for his glasses, by looking at the mirror, immediately the knowledge was gained. This entire search was ended, ceased. There was a cessation of search, and the pravritti, the process of becoming, came to an end. So we are saying that this Vedanta comes in this category. The knowledge has to be direct, because Atma is myself, Atma is not away from me, and so knowledge becomes direct. The other Shastrams, the other religions don't talk like this. They're very clear that they have a God. That God doesn't live here. I am separate from God. This earth is separate from God. The heaven is separate from earth. Like this, it's very clear. And so, these are all heaven-bound religions. Swamiji says these are all tourism promotion organizations. Tourism, we are tired of all this going to Kashmir, going to Rameshwaram, going to Vrindavan Gardens, going on a cruise to Bali. All this, we are bored. Tell me something different. All this is all too boring now. Life is moving fast. You got to change, And we're all modern people. So then they say, yeah, there is one travel that you will get. And that travel is going to heaven. And I will tell you how you can go to heaven. So understand the differences between these so-called religions. So allowing that pramanam to work, we saw that how the blind person whose eyesight was worked on by the doctor, that person has no choice but to open his or her eyes in order to see if it works or not. Nobody can prove that the eyes will be able to see except the one who owns or who operates the eyes. So we saw that. So if I ask the question, do you exist? Do you exist? Are we going to say, let me go back to my notes. Let me go to the restroom. There is a mirror there. Let me look at myself. Check myself up a little bit, Maybe ask, my children are all there, and let me ask them, do I exist? So they might say, we wish you did not exist. That is a different answer, different question altogether. But the fact remains that I exist. Correct? Fact remains, I exist. So I want to get some feedback. Any of you there whose surroundings are not noisy? Shiva, just I'm picking randomly. Shailaja, if your surrounding is not noisy, unmute yourself.
Yes, Guruji.
Yeah, unmute yourself. So, do I exist? Do you exist? Important question. So, you can't say an answer other than I exist. Puch ke bataunga doesn't work. So, I exist. Okay, I exist. You say, now I ask you, who are you? Then Shastram says, who are you? When somebody says, we give a big list. So I was born here, I was raised here, and then I had association with them, and I learned music, and I did this, I accomplished that, I'm a professional, I did this kind of, I have these degrees, and I work here, etc. We give a list. Then we probe further into the life. Then we realize that what I really look at myself as, I have some opinions about myself regarding my own sense of security, my own sense of fear, my own sense of accomplishments, etc. So here the Shastram comes and says, Vedanta says, you are secure. And in fact, the Bhagavad Gita, bold statement, Krishna starts with the bold statement that there is no cause for grief. There's no cause for grief. So when we were studying Bhagavad Gita many years ago, so there was a psychologist in my class, and we were all studying together. And very reputed psychologist, and she's also doing her PhD. And suddenly says there is no cause for fear. And the job of a psychologist is to look at clients, as they say. They don't say patients, clients. And they have nice words. I learned a lot when I lived in the US. All these nuances. Clients are all there, and everybody is sharing their problems. And no psychologist will say, you have no reason to fear. Nobody, no psychologist will say that. In fact, the psychologist will say, if I were in your shoes, I would have the same feeling. Correct? That's what a psychologist will say. Psychologist will validate the feelings of the other person. And here Krishna is putting down Arjuna, it looks like. And you're afraid that your relatives are going to die. All that fear is illegitimate, he says. And so this is what we are for in this journey. And that knowledge that I am secure, I am complete, I am, it will say even more bold statements like I am the cause of the world. So it's all mind-boggling until we understand it. All these statements that give me some knowledge, is that knowledge immediate knowledge, direct knowledge, or indirect knowledge? And it has to be direct knowledge. It can't be knowledge that has to be believed. Because I have Shraddha in the Vedas, I have Shraddha in my teacher, and I see a lot of books, they say the same thing. Therefore, I believe what you say. So one thing we say in these classes, don't believe what I say, understand what I say. Important, right? Believing what I say is one thing. Understanding is entirely different. So, that is this pramanam, Veda pramanam, Shastra pramanam. And if I say, no, this doesn't make sense at all, this is some hocus pocus and some bogus something somebody is talking and people are listening to it, then you must be able to see the falsity of the statement. You must be able to see the untenability of the statement. You must be able to prove why it is wrong. Because understanding. If you say it's wrong, you must say why it's wrong. Because the person who says it's right is trying to prove why it is right. So keep that in mind. And so an effort must be made to appreciate this subject matter. Now let's get into the Bhagavad Gita. Veda is a pramanam. We saw that. Now what about the Bhagavad Gita? Veda has Vedanta, which is what we said, Jnanakanda. Vedanta means Upanishad. And Upanishad is the source for this teaching. This Brahma Vidya, Atma Vidya, Atma Jnanam. And the Bhagavad Gita derives its content from the Upanishad. And it's logical. And it is understandable, assimilable. In fact, it's a dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. Or in the north, they say Krishna or Arjun. In the south, we keep elongating all these vowels. Krishna, all these things. We say Rama, we say. We don't say Ram. We'll say Rama. So, some of you may find it a little odd. Rama bolta hai, Krishna bolta hai. Like that you may think. That's because I am from this part of the world, So dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna. So dialogue, because doubts, something to be understood means doubts will be there. Doubts will be there means Q&A has to be there. So Gita, having derived itself from the Upanishad, it is also a pramanam. And we call it Gita Shastram. Gita Shastram. The word Shastram, the technical meaning of the word Shastram, Shasanat Trayate, iti Shastram. It protects, Trayate, it protects by being in a commanding position, by saying certain things which it wants us to understand. Shasanat Trayate iti Shastram. And so Gita Shastram, Veda Shastram, Shruti, Gita Shastram. Now, what the Gita says has to be in keeping with the Vedas. Has to be in keeping. Otherwise, it will not be called Shastram. Otherwise, it can be some other text. Maybe a text on warfare. Maybe a text on something else. Jurisprudence. Chanakya's text is there. It's Artha Shastra, governance. So like this, so many texts are there. Bhagavad Gita, it's all about battle and no, it's not. Once you start reading, you'll see there's nothing to do with what kind of weapons to carry, how to strategize all these positions in a war, in a battlefield like this. No such discussion is there. So its content is all derived from the Vedas. And Krishna says in the 4th chapter, I think, he says, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan aham avyayam. So he says, hey, Arjuna, what I'm telling you is not new. Don't think I'm spinning something. This is what I taught Vivaswan. Vivaswan, Manu, this Manu. Manu was the first human being, they say, in our tradition. And in that tradition, Vivaswan was there. Then Vivaswan, Manave Praha. Oh, Vivaswan taught Manu. My goodness. So he's gone before Manu also. So Vivaswan Manu Ikshwakave Bravit. So he taught it, Ikshwaku. Like this parampara was there. And you are there in that same parampara. Nothing new is being said, but what is being said is important. So that tells us that it's in keeping with what's being taught. And secondly, Vyasa. Vyasa is the author of this Bhagavad Gita, because he is the author of the Mahabharata, which is where the Bhagavad Gita is. And Vyasa is also, can you all hear me?
Yes.
Yes, Guruji. Yes,
Yeah.
Guruji.
Yeah.
Yes, Guruji.
Show your finger like that. But yeah. So, and Vyasa is also the editor of the Vedas. And so that means his mind is so vast. We consider him to be bhagawAn Narayana, all knowing, Sarvajna. So that is why the Bhagavad Gita, I think the second shloka in the Gita Dhyanam talks about praises Vyasa. Namostute Vyasa Vishala Buddhe. Vishala Buddhe, we address him like that. So he knows so much. And he has written the Puranas, 18 Puranas. So Vyasa is all over. So being Sarvajna, what Vyasa says has to be a pramanam, has to be beneficial to me. They don't have time to bluff around. And thirdly, Krishna is an avatara. We've heard that, we've learned that, we believe that. He is one of the avatars. And therefore, Krishna is nothing but Narayana. And Krishna's words are also Bhagavan's words. And so, Bhagavat Vachanam. These words are Bhagavat Vachanam. Therefore, we consider the Bhagavad Gita as an important pramanam. All this discussion to show that the Bhagavad Gita is a pramanam, means of knowledge. And on
If you don't hear, Ji.
yeah. So Bhagavat Vachanam, therefore, Pramanam. And on top of that, we have Adi Shankaracharya, one of the first, he probably is the first commentator of the Bhagavad Gita. Maybe there were some, no, I can't say he was first, because Shankaracharya, when he comments, he does say, a lot of people have written many things about the Bhagavad Gita and about other texts, and there is a lot of contradiction. That is why I am writing this. He says that. So 2500 years ago. And that makes it also sacred for us. And this parampara is there, and the fact that we are studying this here today reveals to us that the Bhagavad Gita is indeed a pramanam. Indeed a pramanam. So look at this. What a text we are studying. And when this Bhagavad Gita, Mahabharata occurred, still people are researching. A good friend of mine wrote a book and published a book on the dating of Mahabharata. So much good work is going on these days. And we are saying no to all this dating, all these dates that the West has given us, and lot of new research is happening. So many thousands of years ago, we can't even imagine 3,000, 4,000 years. What to talk of Ramayana, which tradition says could be 10,000 years or more. And so Bhagavad Gita, very sacred text for us. It's a pramanam. Think of it that way, pramanam. So Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavat refers to bhagawAn. Bhagawan. So what is bhagawAn? So it's a Sanskrit word, no doubt, and it is of course used in all our regional languages. Balavan, Gunavan, correct? You've heard all these words. All these words are there. Shakti, one who has Shakti is called what? Yeah, a couple of you can unmute yourself.
Shaktiman.
Shaktiman. Shaktiman or Shaktiman?
Shaktiman.
Shaktiman. So it's not Shaktiman, Shaktiman. And like that, Kirti, Kirtiman. So this Van, Man, these words indicate one who has that Kirti, and one who is endowed with Kirti is Kirtiman. One who is endowed with Guna, some good qualities, noble qualities, prized qualities, is Gunavan, etc. Balavan, ityadi. So now we have understood that Bhagavan means one who has what? Bhaga. One who has Bhaga must be called Bhagavan. But Bhaga is what? What is Bhaga? We need to understand. So in Vishnu Puranam, the word Bhaga is described as something that has 6 qualities. So first quality is what is called Aishwaryam. Aishwaryam. So this Aishwaryam means overlordship, complete empowerment. You know, sometimes you feel like you are just absolutely on top of the world, like they say in America, and nothing, no fear, no vulnerability. It's all great, and I know everything, and there is not even a trace of fear or doubt or anything like that. So Aishwaryam. And so I look at an ant, and poor ant, now I have to decide whether I should let it go or I will do something else to it. I am not threatened by the ant. So overlordship. So samagrasya aishwaryasya. So that means complete overlordship. That is one of the attributes of this Bhaga, means complete overlordship. That is one. And then Viryam. Viryam. So Srishtikarta. Srishti, Sthiti, Laya Karta. So the capacity to create, the capacity to maintain, and the capacity to resolve. And we also have that capacity. We can also create. Every human being, every animal, every living being has the capacity to create. Every bacteria, it divides into 2 and creates more bacteria. So like this, capacity to create is there, maintain, sustain, and then Ishvara, capacity to resolve. We call it death and all that stuff, but capacity to resolve. So that is called Viryam. So Aishwaryasya Samagrasya Viryasya Yashasasriyaha. Yashas. Yashas is fame. So everybody loves to be famous. At least if I'm not famous outside my home, at least inside my home I want to be famous. And so that desire is always there. And therefore, if somebody acknowledges, somebody says, oh, great job, and I love what you said, and what a great joke, and somebody laughs at a joke, then we feel good. So a little bit of appreciation, fame, all that, it's all part of the fame of Ishvara. Ishvara's fame, of course, whether I believe in God or don't believe in God, God is famous. God is the most famous guy. And the guy who doesn't believe in God also is upset by God. He's upset that so many people believe in God. So God seems to be famous. Ishvara. Yashas. Yashas means fame. And then Shriyaha. Shri. Yeah, in general, Shri means resources, material wealth. And so they say somebody who is wealthy, Shri Kataksham. So full of Shri. Shri can be knowledge also. So Shri here refers to material wealth. So fourth aspect, material wealth. Wealth, resources. That's a better word. I like that better. Resources. Highly resourceful. Some people are resourceful. Ishvara, complete. Samagraha Shriya. Samagraha Shriya. Then Jnanam. Fifth aspect is Jnanam. Knowledge. Complete knowledge. Sarvajna. We attribute Sarvajnatvam to Ishvara, to Bhagavan Ishvara. So that fifth aspect is Jnanam, complete knowledge. And then Vairagyam. So dispassion in complete measure. We appreciate what dispassion is because we are also dispassionate to certain things. We are also dispassionate. So the child just goes after the balloon. But the father is a jnani, he doesn't go after balloon and all that. He's a balloon jnani. Balloon and all is all impermanent. And a poor little child, let him play with the balloon, like that. Very, very enlightened view he has. Very enlightened when it comes to balloons. So dispassion. So much dispassion is there. Red color, beautiful, golden color balloon, not attracted. Balloon burst, child is just crying, wailing. That guy is just solid rock. Doesn't cry or anything like that. No chance, nothing happened. And so that's called dispassion. So complete dispassion. Jnana vairagya yoschaiva shannam bhaga itirana. So the shloka goes like this. Aishwaryasya samagrasya viryasya yashashas shriyaha jnana vairagya yoschaiva shannam bhaga itirana. These 6 qualities, overlordship, Aishwaryam, Viryam, the capacity to create, sustain and resolve, Yashas, fame, and then resourcefulness, maybe that's the way to say it, resourcefulness, complete resourcefulness, and knowledge and dispassion. Each of these in full measure, then that is called Bhaga. And the one who has these things in full measure is called bhagawAn. bhagawAn. This is the definition of Bhagavan. And so Ishvara, Parameshwara, Kadavul, all these words we have, Andavan, so many words we have in our languages. And Paramatma. So that is the meaning of Bhagavan. And of course, these words, Ishvara and all, have different meanings also, but they all point to the same Bhagavan. So Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan having understood Bhagavan in this way, then Gita, Bhagavad Gita, they will translate it as the Lord's song. So Bhagavatah Gita. So ईश्वर का क्या बोल सकते हैं? गाना. Can we say Gana? I don't know. Probably not a good translation, because the Ganas we know all end in 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5 minutes. This Gana won't end in 5 minutes. So Gita. So a song, a long song offered by bhagawAn, sung by bhagawAn. We can't even say sung, I think. So this is not some kind of who is going to sing in a battlefield. Well, they might sing Aditya Hridayam, because Aditya Hridayam was given by Agastya Maharshi to Bhagavan Sri Rama. Rama himself was tried in the battlefield, and day after day after day, and suddenly Ravana comes like this and ready to fight, and Rama is just disheartened. So yeah, perhaps some songs can be sung in the battlefield. And so Bhagavan's song, Bhagavatah Gita, and it's a Gita because it is pleasing to hear, because it is written in a poetic form. It is not prose, and so there is this chanda, anushtup chanda and trishtup chanda, 2 meters. So a chanda means a certain number of syllables must be there. Okay, so 4 times 8 syllables is anushtup chanda, and then 4 times 11, I think, is trishtup chanda. So these are the 2 meters, 2 chandas in which all the verses are there, either anushtup or trishtup, and therefore it can be sung, and therefore it's pleasing. So that is one reason to call it Gita. The other reason is its subject matter. Subject matter. It doesn't say you're a sinner. It says you are the whole. It's good to hear, at least. Once in a while it's good to hear. They say, take time and come back to yourself every day, they say. So that time maybe I can listen to the Bhagavad Gita, knowing that Krishna is talking about the fullness of Atma. Therefore it's pleasing. I may not understand it, but it's pleasing. It's nice to hear. That's another reason why it's called Gita. And Gita is feminine gender, Strilingam grammatically. And so Vedas is Shruti. Shruti is also feminine gender. So perhaps indicating that there is the same message. Shruti's message is encapsulated in the Bhagavad Gita. And then of course Krishna, the avatara of Vishnu, Bhagavan Vishnu. And therefore Krishna is there all over. Almost every shloka is spoken by Krishna. So therefore it's desirable for us to see what Krishna says. So Krishna's song, Bhagavan's song, this is one interpretation. The other interpretation is the song whose subject matter is Bhagavad Gita. The song whose subject matter is Bhagavan. That is Bhagavad Gita. So like somebody says biology book. Biology book means what? A book whose subject matter is biology. That is what is a biology book. So like that, Bhagavad Gita. And so it will take us through lifestyles. Of course, the message of the Atma is there right in the 2nd chapter. Krishna seems to love to give the entire concentrated message to Arjuna. And then later on elaborates on that. And having talked about this Atma and Ishvara, and then he talks about lifestyles. Okay, Krishna, this is great, but what should I do? I think I know what you're saying, but how can I really own up this message, own up this knowledge? And then he talks about two types of lifestyles in the third chapter. So lokesmin vividha nishta pura prokta mayanaga. So jnana yogena sankhyanam, for those who are desirous of knowledge, means those who have finished all their duties, then for them jnana yoga, an exclusive pursuit of knowledge. So that is jnana yoga. Then jnana yogena sankhyanam, karma yogena yoginam. So for others who are still interested, who have duties and who live in a life world of activity, there is something called karma yoga. That's what he talks about. That's the main kind of content. And whenever the Bhagavad Gita chapter ends also, iti Bhagavad Gita su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastra. Two things are mentioned in every chapter. So those two topics referring to Brahma Vidya, that is, then the lifestyle that is seeking Brahma Vidya exclusively is Jnana Yoga and Yoga Shastram. So Karma Yoga. That is what forms a portion of the Bhagavad Gita. And what is Karma Yoga? It's all, etc. We will see all that. And briefly, Jnana Yoga means exclusive pursuit of this Brahma Vidya. What is Ishvara? What is Atma? What is Jiva? What is this Jagat, this world? What is the connection? Is there a connection between this Jiva and that Ishvara? What is the connection between this world and me? Amazing. These questions other religions don't ask. They stop. It's just amazing. That's why I think we don't call ourselves as a religion. Our dharma is not a religion. Externally, it appears like a religion. Like other religion. Okay, what kind of chips do you want? You want Frito-Lay or you want this or you want that? No, it's not like that. So here we are talking about the understanding of the entire world and with nothing taken for granted. And what is the life? What is death? What happens to me after death? Tell me more about this Punarjanma and what is my goal of my life? All these things talked about. So that is Brahma Vidya. Finally, understanding the nature of oneself. Then Karma Yoga. Karma Yoga means an attitude. Karma Yoga is not karma. First thing to note. Karma Yoga is not activity. Karma Yoga is the attitude with which I perform, I lead my life. Attitude with which I lead my life. That is an important thing to understand. So some people confuse Karma Yoga as do something without taking a salary. Karma Yoga karo. Karma Yoga karo varo nahi. Karma karo. That is fine. You can say that. But Karma Yoga to you can't do. Like do compassion. Do compassion. What kind of nonsense is that? You be compassionate. In your words, be compassionate. In your actions, show that compassion. That you can say. So same thing here also. Karma Yoga. An attitude with which I lead my life. And Brahma Vidya requires karma yoga, or jnana yoga requires karma yoga, or in other words, karma yoga prepares me to gain this knowledge. That is the connection between karma yoga and jnana yoga. So other yogas, what about bhakti yoga, what about this yoga, that yoga? If you say, yeah, they're all there. They all fall under broadly into these two categories, karma yoga and jnana yoga. And so karma yoga is discussed in detail in Bhagavad Gita. So when I announced this course, I and then within a few lines he was taught the Brahma Vidya. But for us, we need a little more elaboration. And that elaboration about what are values and how do I lead this, how can I gain this attitude, what is that attitude, all that is discussed in the Bhagavad Gita elaborately. And so I felt I wanted to say that is one of the reasons we study Bhagavad Gita today, and it's a popular text for us because of that elaboration that is there. So elsewhere it is said, Gita Sugita Kartavya. Gita Sugita Kartavya. Kartavya must be done. Kartavya must be done. What must be done? Gita Sugita Kartavya. Hey, Gita is a song, all right, but make it your song. Sugita. Make it yours. Own it up. And if you do, then what happens? Kim anyaihi shastra vistaraihi. What is the need for all other texts? What all other texts are there? So many are there. Why do you need other texts if you have Bhagavad Gita with you? That is being said. Gita Sugita Kartavya. Kim anyaihi shastra vistaraihi. So it is praising the Bhagavad Gita. It doesn't put down any text, but it praises the Bhagavad Gita. That shows that the Bhagavad Gita, as even studied by our ancestors, is a complete text. And it's handed over today also. Today we don't teach this to our children. Our schools don't teach all this. But Germans are learning it. Japanese are learning it. Europeans, children are chanting it. So that is how it's working out. But it's good. Let it, somehow it should get preserved, and it's working out well. That is good. But I heard recently Narendra Modi gifted the book of Bhagavad Gita to this Prime Minister of Japan. That's what I heard. So good. We salute Modi for that. So Gita Sugita Kartavya. Maybe Narendra Modi ji said that. Gita Sugita Kartavya. So I don't know what he said. So Bhagavad Gita is complete on account of that. And we also hear that Mahatma Gandhi used to refer to the Bhagavad Gita, study the Bhagavad Gita. Aurobindo has studied it, read it, quoted it. And Balagangadhar Tilak and all these recent, our own leaders of this country who got us this country, they all refer to Bhagavad Gita. And I used to wonder, why Bhagavad Gita? Why should Mahatma Gandhi study Bhagavad Gita? What does it have that really is dealing with life and death? But clearly there is something that he got from the Bhagavad Gita, which made people who they are. break out saying Bhashyakara, don't scratch your head. It means Adi Shankaracharya. So, Adi Shankaracharya's commentary on the Bhagavad Gita is there, which is really what we are following also. Even though we are not going to read that Bhashyam, and word by word we are not going to do that. But the commentary that Swamiji has taught me, I mean, what the Bhagavad Gita that he taught was based on the commentary. It's called Moolam. Now, later on, after studying it, we also studied the Bhashyam of the Bhagavad Gita. So, line by line, what Shankara says, we went through that. But in this course, we are not going to study the Bhashyam. We are going to study the Moolam. Moolam means the main shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita, or rather the shlokas of the Bhagavad Gita, without actually reading the commentary. And so there, that commentary, Shankara says, as I mentioned, that there are people who have talked about what the Shastram says and what the Bhagavad Gita says. I see contradictions. In fact, he uses a word there. Viruddha, atyanta viruddha, anekarthatvena. Not only are there different meanings, but there are all contradictory meanings also. Therefore, I have chosen to write a Bhashyam of this Bhagavad Gita. Like that he gives. And he also says, Gita Shastram samasta vedartha sara sangraha bhutam. That which contains the essence of all the Shastram. Look at that. He himself says that. Samasta vedartha sara sangraha bhutam. Saram means essence. Durvijneyam, he says. Durvijneyartham. So, not that easy to understand. That also he says. Without some help. It's easy to understand, provided you have the right teacher. This is what I learned. When I first started studying under Swamiji, the first thing that struck me was, my goodness, this is how teaching should be. And how much I missed out in school and college. We went through the motions of going to school, going to classes, and going from here to there and studying. And of course, we had good teachers. I had good teachers, no doubt. And I salute them. But how many teachers just came and just kept on looking at the books and reading from the book? And how many hours, how many days were wasted on that? Just struck me. And so I was suddenly it was a big revelation for me, and I recognized the importance of teaching. Forget Shastram, even teaching any subject matter. Any subject matter, whether it is in a school or in a college or beyond. You know, these days people talk about continuing education, right? You got to remain educated all the time. I mean, IT people know this very well. So when I used to take the bus to office all these years, and many people, IT people are there, and they're always looking at a book. And I closely look at what book it is. Some latest programming language, latest concepts, object-oriented programming, they say. And when I studied, it was some other procedural programming, Fortran and C and all that. Now they are doing Java, C++, and then Visual Basic, they say. So now the programming has become visual. So you have to change. You can't say, I got a degree in computer science from IIT and all that. That won't work. It won't work. So Shankaracharya says that. He says, I see contradictions, therefore I'm writing a comment. And so the teaching is so important here. And so we can now talk about what is called Guru. The concept of Guru therefore comes. A need for a teacher, a need for a Guru. So we already saw Durvijneyam, not a straightforward topic. Not straightforward. It's not like learning any other subject, talking about Atma and saying something which seems unbelievable. At least if it is believable, I can I can make some effort, but it's not believable. Difficult, therefore. And that knowledge is often expressed cryptically, cryptic statements. That is another problem. And we are saying Bhagavad Gita has the essence of the Upanishads. Upanishads are cryptic, and on top of Bhagavad Gita, even though a little more elaborate, still cryptic for this human mind, which says, I'm so busy. And these days everybody says, I'll come to your home, but I'll call you before coming. This I will call you before coming is definitely this so-called modern life. That characterizes modern life, in my opinion. Those days, I don't think they would have said, I'll call you before coming. Well, first of all, you can't call. There was no telephone. Second, people will just come. That's it. Over. I remember when I was growing up and all, people would come, even though we had a phone. And we used to meet our uncles and aunts and all this, and relatives. They used to come and stay for days sometimes. And here, staying for days is not the thing. Whether you will stay for 1 hour or 2 hours, that is the question. So, because time, clock is running, you also have work to do. I also have work to do. I don't say I'm busy. I'm saying you are busy. And I'm busy. So we need help, extra help. And thirdly, Arjuna also found it difficult. And we gather that from the dialogue. And he keeps asking the same question, like apparently the same question again and again. And so that tells us, even Arjuna, who lived at a time where the Shastram was prized, people studied the Shastram, and people took to sannyasa, and he clearly knows about the sannyasa ashrama. He is asking questions. And so even for him, it was not that easy. And this topic also is unique. Topic is unique. And not easily expressed in words. And what is expressed has to be unfolded. Otherwise, the potential for misconception, misinterpretation, misunderstanding is there. And that is why this Dakshinamurti. So there is one Devata called Dakshinamurti in our tradition, especially in the south. We have that tradition where the first teacher is referred to as Mahadeva Shiva in the form of Dakshinamurti. And they say Dakshinamurti is the teacher and he taught through silence. How many of you have heard that? He taught through silence. Correct? So, teaching through silence. So this teaching through silence is not to be taken literally. Many people take it literally. That is because he's God. God can teach through silence. We are all carried away by all this esoteric stuff. And we justify it also. Hey, come on. Chup raho yaar. So God, we don't know what God is. He can do all these things. So, but there, the God may be able to teach through silence. That's a different thing. But here that silence refers to the fact that every word objectifies something. But here is something which cannot be objectified. Atma cannot be objectified. Because Atma is the subject. It cannot be an object of my knowledge. That is the meaning there. Mauna Vyakhya Prakatita Parabrahma Tattvam Yuvanam. Like that, we have a nice shloka, Dakshinamurti, Dhyana shloka. We'll get a chance to see that sometime. Therefore, in our tradition, Guru means it's a requirement, and that person, he or she is revered because that person has gone through this tradition and is able to teach and able to communicate the teachings. And there is another shloka which defines the word guru itself. Gukarastu andhakaro vai, like that it is there. So gukarastu andhakaro vai means the letter gu. Literally, I'm translating now that Kukaraha to Andhakaro vai. The letter Gu refers to Andhakaraha, darkness. But darkness not to be taken literally, darkness of ignorance. Gukarastu Andhakaro vai. Rukarastu or Rukaraha tan nivartakaha. Rukaraha tan nivartakaha. See, this in Sanskrit, there is a suffix. Suppose I want to say the letter I will say akaraha. The letter u, ukaraha. The letter I, aikaraha. Like that we say in Sanskrit. When teaching and talking, like that we use that suffix called kara. So here also gukaraha, rukaraha means that syllable gu. Here it doesn't literally mean letter, it means syllable because gu has two letters. So we can't say letter. Gu is a syllable. So the syllable gu, the syllable ru stands for what? Rukaras tat nivartakaha. The rukara refers to the removal of that ignorance. And then what? Rukarastan nivartakaha andhakara nirodhitvat gururiti abhidhiyate. Andhakara nirodhitvat, because this person removes the darkness of ignorance. From where, if you ask, where else ignorance can be there except this mind? We can't say ignorance is there in the table. It doesn't seem right. Ignorance is there where knowledge is possible. Only then ignorance can be talked about. So, andhakara nirodhitvat gururiti abhidhiyate. That person, because of his or her ability to remove the ignorance from the mind, is called guru. Like that, there is a verse which we chant sometimes. And so, that is something that comes to mind here. Need for a guru. Okay, so we will conclude with that and continue with this topic of guru little bit, few more words, and then continue further. And probably in the next couple of classes, we will complete this introduction and then get into the Bhagavad Gita itself, which starts with Gita Dhyanam. So Dhyana Shloka. So before, many of these our shlokas have what is called Dhyana Shlokas. And so we will get into that as well. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah, Sarve Santu Niramayaha, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Ma Kaschit Dukha Bhag Bhavet. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.